natives and the locals of Sabah. The perception is that the federal government is not doing anything, although we know that the federal government has done something, as it was recently announced that the federal government agreed to increase the grants for Sabah. So there is something being done, but we are still saying that the whole perception of Malaysia as Sabah saw it in 1963 is not what we actually see nowadays. In fact, we see a lot of standardization as Malaysia would be a unilateral state, whereas what a lot of Sabahans understand Malaysia to be is that Sabah will be autonomous and that we will be free to govern the whole state with our own laws, our own practices, particularly our own native customs and our own native languages. But what we have now is that we have a one-size-fits-all, so that really we are just following what is in West Malaysia. What is happening in Sabah is not taken up. So there's a lot of unhappiness there, and I think that this unhappiness has to be addressed, because the longer we keep this away, the problems will just continue to grow and create even more unhappiness. But the future, I think, for Malaysia is to recognize the diversity and the differences between the different regions and the states with Malaya, and to capitalize on that so that we be able to make use of that for the benefit of the whole of Malaysia. As one speaker and one recent investment seminar put it, we are in a very unique position whereby Malaysia can adapt to both India and to China, who are our giant neighbors.
Roland,
We have got people.
Roland, you have 1 minute.
Okay, because we have got people in Malaysia who can understand and relate to both these giants. So it is my further hope that by putting a new and different perspective from the Gerak Independent, we will be able to achieve that for Sabah and for Malaysia. In particular, that we will be standing so that we will say what we mean and mean what we say, and that we will not be jumping all over the place to form a government of the day, but we will make sure that the principles that we subscribe to will be adopted by the government, and that we will therefore, in that sense, support whoever ascribes and supports our 5 pillars. Thank you very much.
And Roland, have you decided where you're going to stand in Sabah?
In
Okay, yes. Okay, thank you, Roland. Right, that's Roland, our compatriot from Sabah. So the last but not least, our final candidate will be Taufik Ismail. Needless for me to introduce who he is. So Taufik, there you go.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
I will speak straight away in English because I think that's going to save time. What I have to say has already been on record in the past. The reason why I'm standing as an independent is because it brings back certain principles that are lost in this country. Who represents the electorate? Is it parties or is it personalities? And we are trying to get away from party politics because party politics has brought us to the sorry mess that we're in right now, where individuals within Parliament cannot voice out what is right, even though they feel it is right, because of the party whip and because of party discipline. A lot of people have asked me why I am not loyal to UMNO. My answer is quite simple. UMNO died in 1987. He was killed off. And what was called UMNO after that is an artificial entity whose name has been used to promote a certain agenda which is not Malaysian. The original UMNO that I belong to stood for fairness and stood for justice and stood for an equal opportunity for Malaysians, which the current UMNO does not. In fact, the current UMNO is so irresponsible to call for this election in Johor State, and I think it is very, very awkward for anyone who claims himself to be a member of the old party to claim that he is fighting for the rights of the people when in fact you are jeopardizing the health as well as the well-being of the rakyat you represent. Also, ladies and gentlemen, the fact is that at this point of time I am 70 years old and I carry with me some memories of where Malaysia should have been if the leadership of UMNO, as it was then, had continued till this present day. We have strayed away from our goal of international integration, and as you have just heard, even in a simple infrastructure like communication between Sabah and here is woefully low because of the fact that the federal government does not pay attention to national integration in a very broad sense. Why should we make people from Sabah and Sarawak feel different? And I can tell you that they have every right to be angry with the peninsula. And this is one of the things which I will fight for if I'm a member of Parliament, if I'm re-elected to Parliament. Ladies and gentlemen, I think we have all seen how the overreach of institutions created by Mahathir and Anwar, like Jakim, have ruined the name of Islam in this country. In the most recent case of this poor mother who cannot see her child, I wonder if you can tell me how many MPs have actually spoken on behalf of her. I don't think anyone has. And I think this shows you the quality of the members of Parliament that we have. Also, ladies and gentlemen, those who proclaim to have a strong need for a Malay government, please prove to me that Malays represent everybody in this country if you cannot even speak for one mother with her children. You claim to present yourselves as champions of Islam, but where is your championship of basic human rights and basic humanity, which we cannot see you perform as members of Parliament or as Wakil Rakyat? Ladies and gentlemen, the question of which constituency I am standing is not important right now because I have a choice. I can either stand in Mersing, which is where my father stood. I can stand in Pontian or Simpang Rendang, because that used to be Sungai Benut, which is where I represented in the 1980s. I can stand in Pago, because the chief frog was there. And I can even stand in Langkawi because I'm in Malaysia and Malay, and I can stand anywhere in this country in Parliament, and I think I can be there to make the fight real for everybody. I can even stand in Ampang and I can fight the That is the only urban seat I can think of. Everywhere else is a Malay heartland. And it is time that we go back and tell them that they have been led astray by UMNO or what is a party that is called unknown, which is not really unknown. It is some other party which is pretending to be what it is not. And ladies and gentlemen, the biggest threat to the Malays right now is a party called PAS, which is distorting the entire fabric of Islam, and it is leading us Malays to perdition rather than to glory and well-being. Thank you very much.
Yeah, so Taufik is leaving us all, guessing where he's going to stand. But he mentioned the places that he might be standing. Okay, so just take note. How many places he mentioned just now? 3 places. So look out, not Langkawi. You didn't hear Langkawi.
You forgot the Langkawi one.
I will repeat.
Yes.
I will repeat.
Kesian ada architect nanti.
Sorry, Langkawi, Pago, Ampang, Simpang Rendah, Pontian, Mersing.
Yeah.
One.
Wow, a few places. Yeah. So there you go. He will probably, fight once he decides where he will stand. He will then, announce. But that's not important as what Taufik said. So yes, as what Taufik said, not many of our political parties right now dare to voice out these so-called sensitive areas, especially when it comes to matters related to Islam. It's not about Islam, but the administration of Islam. So that is something that everybody must understand the difference between these two. We are not questioning about Islam, we are questioning about the behavior and the conduct of the people who actually, run these agencies. So now, I just before I leave it to the floor to ask question, I will urge everybody to download the Gerak Independent apps, which is available from the store, whatever you call it now.
Play Store. Play Store.
Yes.
And Apple
Play Store.
And Apple Store.
What store?
Apple Store.
Apple Store, whatever store. So you download on your phone, and then you can actually have a direct communication with the candidates themselves, and also you can donate and volunteer through the apps. So you can actually do a lot of things in the apps and get closer to your candidates, the Gerak Independent candidates. So if with that, I shall leave it to the media and anyone else on the floor asking any question that you may have. Thank you. Whoever wants to ask. Any question?
Hi, I'm Yusuf from Istana. Previously, it's important that we will use 10 candidates in GPP. Is it still 10 right now with the remaining one to come? Or is it?
Yeah.
We have not closed the list. There are still some candidates being vetted. We are looking at a diversity of candidates from various professions. These are at the moment being vetted by third parties, and we hope that out of the constituencies which I have mentioned, that if I stand in one, the other 5 might go to other candidates.
Well, we actually have identified 15, I believe, in the list here, which we will give you the press release, the constituencies that we have identified for the Gerak Independent candidates. As Taufik said, that it's not close, but we are not going to be putting in more than 10. If no suitable candidates, that means we are not going to, looking, but it will stay at 6. But if there are more suitable candidates, not more than 10, that's all. So the numbers that we are going for. So you will see later on the areas in which we have identified. Yeah, that's the answer. Any more questions?
Hi, I'm Gina from the Nation Inside. I noticed that 5 of the seats belong to Pakatan Harapan. Do you have any comments on this?
Sorry, can you repeat?
5 of these seats that you are contesting in the Pakatan Harapan seats, do you have any comments on it?
Okay, the question is, why is it 5 of us are going for the ones we have announced are going for PKR? Valid question. I answer for myself because I haven't studied the bigger picture yet. In my case, I'm going for, it happened to be Maria who won the seat, and I happen to be standing against whoever stands. I don't think, if I were to guesstimate, I do not think that she'll be fielded by PKR because I think she was aligned to the wrong camp in the fallout within PKR. So, but any which way, I was there with her, you can ask her this question, or Rajiv. I walked with all of them to get her registered, and Rajiv registered. So having done that at election day, having been a citizen of Petaling for the last 50 years, I think I can serve this country after 33 years of public service by going in, and it so happened that in my case, in Petaling, it happens to be a PKRC. Okay, I joked with YB Tony Pua, hey, if I come to Damansara, will you move? He said, which party are you standing for? Okay, so you understand that.
Yeah, Kiran?
Yes, I'll be standing in Bangsa Maju simply because I'm from that area. I've been there for a very long time, and I've been active there politically. In fact, put 2 MPs into Parliament. So I hardly understand all the issues there. Now, whatever happens in Bangsa Maju affects me because it is my area. So there are lots of issues there. You go and drive around Bangsa Maju, you can see in areas such as Kampung Kuala Sungai Mulia, Padang Balang, Changkat, Taman Melati, Section 1, look for yourself and you will see that there is poverty there. And there are many sections of Bangsa Maju like that. Now, why should that happen? Today I drove. I studied just up the hill, Victoria Institution, and Menara Merdeka is over there. Nice, beautiful building. But why should there be such beautiful building, which is nice, good, and yet people live in poverty? Malaysians should never live in poverty, and the root cause is corruption. That must be fixed. All of us deserve dignity in the way we live our lives. So that's the reason. That is a serious concern to me because I've been working with the communities over the years. I hear the ache in their hearts.
Okay. Charles?
Why am I running in Subang? I'm not targeting PKR. I'm running for Subang because I think that the people of Subang deserve the chance to lead Malaysia in a new direction. And the people of Subang, the electorate, it's like a microcosm of Malaysia. You see, look at the Subang area. It's got banks, it's got universities, it's got health facilities, it's got hotels. People there are urban, good mixture of races, good mixture of ages. The people there, I think, are ready for change. I'm choosing Subang because I think the electorate of Subang can lead the country to put an independent voice in parliament. The people of Subang can put power back into the hands of the people. And for the last few elections, you look at the results, the people of Subang have always been just voting, if you want, for the anti-establishment. You could say that. Okay? Last elections, the voter turnout in Subang was 82%. 84%, and the party that won, they won 82% of the votes. The other people who ran from MCA in the past, and I think they made up partly 12%. So I'm not targeting PKR. I'm actually targeting the people of Subang and giving them that respect. Why are we always telling the people how to do, what to do, how to vote and all that? But let us listen to them, give them that respect. Don't look down on them. Give the people of Subang the chance to change, to bring something good back to the country. So, apologies to PKR, I'm not targeting you, you're just irrelevant.
Well said.
Thank you. The reason I chose those constituencies I mentioned just now is because, for example, in Mersing, the incumbent there has not done any work at all as minister in charge of NATMA, which is to look after the floods. And he's also a frog jumping from Ampun to Bersatu. And frog hunting happens to be my hobby. Simpan Renggam, Mazli has been named as the potential Menteri Besar of Johor, and that was a seat that I represented under Sungai Benut. Sungai Benut was divided into two. One is Simpan Renggam, the other one is Pontian. Now, Pontian was my constituency as well, and Pontian was where, at the time that I was in UMNO, I strongly opposed the nomination of Mahyudin as Najib deputy when the vacancy was there, because I felt that people like Shariq Samad would have been a much better candidate as deputy, because he had a track record of fighting Mahdi at that time. But unfortunately, Pontian stuck to being loyal to Mahyudin, and the result is what you have seen in the last couple of years. So going back to Pontian would be something which might be of interest to the people of Pontian, but I also want to go for Pago, because that is where the bullfrog lives. That is where the problem started when it came to the COVID problem hitting us. The management of the country was in the hands of Pago, and I want him to justify his existence in his constituency. And I have an ancestral link to Moa for many generations, and I think I can attract the voters there to my side of the fence. Langkawi, for obvious reasons, I don't like Mahathir. So I don't have to elaborate any further than that. I think he has created great problems for this country, and I just want to put a stop to it. If God doesn't do it, let Taufik Ismail do it. Ampang, well, we all know Zoraida and her performance record, and that is the only urban seat which I am targeting, because I think there are enough people who are prepared to go in the urban areas, but not many people want to go for the Malay heartland. And I really think that the Malays is where the Malay population is where I need to pass the message that you need to have a progressive leadership to bring you people out of the doldrums. Only you can reform yourselves, and only you can set the country right, because you are in the majority. And I would like to lead you out of the morass that you've been led into by UMNO or PAS. Thank you.
Well, thank you everyone. With regards to me, why I decided for Batu, as what Charles had said, actually none of us are against any political party. We just feel that these areas are non-performance areas. Either they are frogs, they are jumping over, or they are not performing according to their duties as members of parliament. As members of parliament, they ought to have actually pushed for more legislation that will make the country better. But we have seen that despite having in power for 22 months, they have not actually done anything except following their political warlords. So political parties do not work in Malaysia. They will follow what their bosses say, whether to vote or not to vote for an issue. So it is time, I think the public ought to change their mindset to give a chance to new faces, whether as independents or as in their political arena, in the political party. I think what is most important for voters to understand is that to vote for someone that will actually voice up your concerns in parliament, not to actually voice up concerns of their political parties. That is the most important thing. So this is where we as Gerak Independent believe that we are representing the constituents, the rakyat, instead of the political master. So we are not going to be told by anyone what to vote and what to stand for. What we stand for is for the rakyat. So we are not afraid to voice up for any concerns of the rakyat, rather than what the political parties, warlords want us to talk about. So this is why Malaysians need to start think differently. Must give a chance to new faces that you believe that will fight for your rights in parliament, because that's where we can change. If we don't start in parliament, it is very difficult, because that is the law. That is where law makes policies. They are the one who decide and chart the way of our country, where we go. And this is why, whilst you can see how becoming worse we are, since this government including PAS in there. The kind of things they say, despite being a woman, deputy women minister, wherein Siti Zaya should be speaking for everyone, no matter whether you're a Muslim or you're not Muslim, but she should be talking about how to protect women in general, not actually espousing what she believes as her religious belief teaching. So this is the difference when you bring people who have religious baggage with them. So we have to leave this behind. I have always advocated separation of religion and state. And what I mean by that is that we must not allow our federal government to actually manage religion, any religion, and give back the powers of managing Islam to the sultans, because under our federal constitution, that's where it lies, under the sultan. So federal government manage the country for all Malaysians, not giving more money to certain religion and to certain section of the society. Federal government is to run for all Malaysians and for all, not just certain people. So this is, I believe, if we can get there one day, Malaysia will be much better than Singapore, better than other countries in the Southeast Asia. In fact, we can be better in the world, even probably better than China. Why not? We must actually aspire to that. We have all the talents. We have beautiful, brilliant, intelligent people in Malaysia, but a lot of them have left this country. Why? So we must actually fight for our country. We must be patriotic. We must stand for all, not just for certain people. No one is trying to take away your right from practicing your belief or your faith or anything. No, nobody is going to do that. Our constitution protects that. Everyone has the right to actually practice their faith and protect their race or whatever. No one is going to do that. What we want is a successful country, a progressive country, and that is what we want. So please remember that why we decided to do this, because we believe our politicians from political parties, they have failed us, and this is why as independents we want to show the rakyat you can actually choose different way. Give us a chance and you will see how we perform in parliament, and we will not let you down. So that's all I can say about us. Yeah. Thank you very much. Any more questions? that is where each candidates they will decide their own ways in how to touch base with the grassroots. For example, Ravi has been in this business for quite a while, so he has been doing. So all of us will be doing our own way. We can't actually specifically say this is how, but obviously we need to visit the area and get to know with the people, and hopefully that they will understand where we are coming from. We are not trying to destroy the country. We are trying to build the country. So hopefully that people can see or give a chance to new faces to represent them in Parliament. Yeah. Anyone else? Okay, Ravi wants to say something.
I am thoroughly familiar with Bangsa Maju, very grassroots oriented, and I've been working in the area for a long time. Familiar Raya, so I understand the area very well. I do know what's happening on the ground.
Charles, you want to say something, is it? No? Okay. You do not?
I think each constituency has got its own different strategies. And I will not divulge my strategy because I think PKR can be listening. But of course, if I'm running for a constituency like Subang, certainly I will be reaching out to them. I will be talking to the people of Subang. Certainly. And recently somebody asked me, you're going against Mr. Wok Chen, so how do you find him? So I told them, well, that's just it, I can't find him. It's very hard to find because I wanted to see him, they have a copy with him, because the whole thing is, we are not really in a fight with people, we are all trying to do things for the people. So I'm willing to talk to anybody in Subang, including the adjuns and the MPs and whoever it is. I will be reaching out to the people of Subang. And the strategy is my secret.
I just want to add one thing. Citi earlier announced that we have an app that's available on the App Store. For those who really want to begin to understand it, try and download the app. Why did we spend so much time and quite a bit of money by angel funders? The reason is simply, today we are in the internet generation world. There is nothing that you cannot access with an app. You cannot access, you can get everywhere. So, and then the recent decision for only 18 to be forcibly registered when there were plans not to get them in, means there's a whole generation of young people that my good friend Syed Sadeh calls Muda, okay, young people out there who will be voting this round. And they are pre-registered. What do I mean by that? Presumably they'll all vote in their addresses they gave in the IC. How else would they be registered to vote? They will use the last given address in the IC, the legally registered address, and they'll vote that. So I think in every one of our constituencies, we're going to see at least a 20% jump in number of people voting, and the app will help us reach out to the young generation. It is the lingua franca of the younger generation. I happen to have worked for 8 years in Mimos, part of that generation that set up internet in the country and MSc and all that related good things. I think the COVID has brought the reality of internet applications to the forefront, especially social media. Because we couldn't move around for 2 years, we have learned to do everything through e-commerce. And everything, asking questions. Even Uncle Google is now a good friend. To ask any question on earth, and you get an answer of some sort. So I think there's a future for this country, and that's why we are deploying an app called Gerak Independent, which is available. Please download it, and you can ask us more questions even after so the press concern doesn't have to end. You can keep asking us questions, and we'll do our best to keep replying. Okay, and there is a plan, if I understand the technology well, we can scale up the app up to 222 locations. That's what I understand. If that is that, then it becomes an app on which you can ask. The parliament is sitting all the time. You can ask all your 222 MPs questions and they will have to answer. Thank you. I hope that helps.
Excuse me, one minute. Will there be any cooperation with Barisan Muda in the near future?
Yes, of course. We are not going to say, oh, we are on our own, you know. We always believe it is good to talk with like-minded people, but then we are not obliged to follow those political parties, you know, with regards to their policies or what they stand for. But I believe that, you know, people who are like-minded would want the same thing. You know? And so we are not saying we are not going to work with any parties or any individuals. We are going to work with like-minded party so that we can achieve a winner at the end of the day. So as I have said earlier on about independence, you know, explaining to you all the meaning of independence and why that we can actually form government with other like-minded political parties or individuals. So there is no need for just political party to win for them to form a government. If there is no majority in any political party, they can always ask around for people who can work with them. And obviously, as independents, we have our pillars that we stand for. If they agree on our pillars, which any like-minded, right-minded person would want to, then there's no reason why we will not work with them. So we are actually, to be honest, in talking. We are talking to Barisan, we are talking to Muda, we are talking to even DAP. I think PKR is on their own. They are like a Lone Ranger now, isn't it? So I don't think they're interested to talk to people like us, you know. So, you know, we are willing to open up, talking to all other, you know, interested parties so that we can get a better Malaysia. That is what our ultimate aim is.
Thanks. I believe coalition politics is the politics of the future. And I think it is not outside the realm of possibility that 10 people can help lead the country, because if Mahathir thinks that him with 15 people he can be Prime Minister, well, the door is quite open. And the way UMNO fell from grace is the same as what happened with the LDP. I think you'll be facing a future with many prime ministers over a space of so many years, and it is not necessarily fixed that this party will lead or that party will lead. In fact, it's probably better for parties not to lead, but for individuals to lead, which is why we're going to the ground to tell the electorate, please do not look at the party when you vote, look at the individual that the party has put up. Is he worthy of being the Prime Minister? Because you are voting 222 people, each of them have the right and the qualification to be your PM. And please choose carefully of the candidates that you are being presented with in every constituency, the man that is best suited to lead the country. Don't just think about the MP as an MP. Think of him as a future member of the government, maybe even as a Prime Minister. And if you look at the 6 of us, please look at us very carefully for our background and how we can contribute, because one of us might be able to lead. In fact, I would give my full support to Siti if she decides to be first woman Prime Minister. Why not?
Why not?
Yes, why not? Yeah. Well, honestly, if I am the Prime Minister, during Pakatan Harapan, a lot have changed. Yes, there are a lot of things to be changed in Malaysia, and if you believe that you want a different country, you believe that Malaysia can do better, give new faces. New faces meaning people that actually you can see their background. Have they actually done anything for the public? Have they actually spoken up for the public? Have they done anything, or are they genuine? Are they real? These are the things that I think there's a question.
Yeah, I'll just read out 3 comments/questions that I find interesting. Number 1, what is GI strategy for education? Malaysians care about this. It is driving the brain drain. Second.
We answer the first one first.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think when it comes to education, the education priority and focus should be on a totally secular thinking. In other words, do away with the amount of religion that you're putting in schools, bring confidence back into the education system, teach the teachers to be open and broad-minded about the subjects and the students that they teach, get rid of racism, especially between students, build the trust between peoples, starting at the bottom, and please make it part of the curriculum that you appreciate each other's cultural differences, because that is something that I, as a student, remember from many, many years ago, that when we went to school, the differences between the Chinese, Indian, and Malay were not so apparent as it is now. I think we have to bring back that thinking among the classes of people, and I think in terms of being able to develop people's ability to earn money is more important than to train them to become ustaz or priests in whatever religion there is, because there is no future in sending people to heaven, but there is a future in making your family rich and well taken care of.
I think my stand on education is quite clear from the writings as well as what I have been saying all this while. We must actually emphasize more on science, technology, and maths. These are the things that we must actually concentrate more rather than these so-called religious classes. Not only burdening the children, but also burdening the teachers. These are something. The whole of the education system need to be overhauled. If I am the education minister, the first thing I will do is that I will tell people, you change the syllabus now. Okay? We are not saying that you cannot teach religious subject, but you can. During my time, there's only 1 hour of religious pendidikan Islam during my time, and it's not compulsory because this is heavenly subject. It will help them when they are dead. So right now we need people who can survive in this world, not after they are dead. So they can do that outside school hours. Okay, so this is very important. We need to produce critical thinking young Malaysians. Not somebody that are afraid to actually speak up their mind, to even think. This is something that we seriously, number 1, any new government must start is the education. Because for years, for so long, that our education system have been dumbed down by idiots who are heading the Ministry of Education. So it's about time. We must change our education system. So that is my stand lah. To be honest, I have a lot to say about education.
Can I suggest that you go and look at the Gerak Independent website or the app? So you go there, you have to select candidate. Under candidate, there's a category called key policies, right? So you have to look there. For me, when you select key policies, I've actually got a lot of write-up, actually 8 key points with respect to education. So you can feel free to have a look at that.
Download the apps.
Download the app, or go to the website. There are all the candidate details are there. There are key policies of 14 different areas outlined. So you can see what is their stand on for example, education, political stability, integrity, race and religion, corruption, nepotism, judiciary, etc.
Yeah.
Okay.
Those are the pillars. Yeah.
Okay. So every Gerak Independent candidate must commit to a stand in each of these 14 areas, and we actually vetted and grilled on these areas. Yeah. So please have a look.
Yes. Next question.
Next question is, why limit to 10? Because you need a lot more people, good people in parliament. And the same person has also said, first you need to take out the speaker.
First what?
First you need to take out the speaker.
Okay, give us the money. Okay, that is the answer. Give us the money, then we can get more and more good people. We can have one independent in each of the 222 constituencies. The moment we have the money, we can then do a lot of things. So basically, right now, we need more money to be more active, to be more to be doing a lot more things. Excuse me. As you say, no money, no talk lah, kan? But a lot of us are driving on air, you know, fresh air, to be honest. Like me, for example, I sacrifice a lot of my time doing a lot of things without being paid. You know, not a single cent that you donate goes to our pockets. It will go to a fund which is accountable to an audit every 6 months. So this is important for people to know that their money don't go into our pocket. But if you want to donate personally to the candidates, you know, as long as they know what the law is, it's not against the law, then, you know, we are not stopping anyone from, you know, getting their own funders. But as you know, times are hard, you know, but if you believe that the country needs change, then do not think about, you know, about where your money goes with regards to Gerak Independent. We plan to actually do a drive, donation, even if like one person donate 10 ringgit each. Imagine 1,000 people, how much you will get, you know? I mean, what is it? What's
300,000.
Huh?
300,000.
300,000, 10 ringgit, 1%. I'm sure we have more supporters than that. I'm sure Malaysians have, you know, more Malaysians believe in what we stand for. So if 10 ringgit from 1%, that will suffice to sustain at least one candidate. But more, imagine that. So we really hope that Malaysians will actually see our vision and help us. And why 10 only? As I say, that's it. It's all about money. It comes down to money. Yeah, thank you.
Movements start from small numbers. So we are a movement of 6 people to begin with. But as I mentioned earlier on, we're not limiting ourselves to just 6. But what is important is we are opening the door for future elections where the young will feel encouraged to stand as independents without having to rely on the party system. Because if you look at the party system and the way they filter candidates to go to parliament or to go even to state assemblies, I think it's quite depressing. Look at the way UMNO chooses its candidates and the way PAS chooses its candidates, and even DAP. I mean, in the end, you are subject to party discipline and party policies that you personally might not agree with, but which you have to defend. But by being an independent, you are encouraging the young to think that there is an opportunity for them to express themselves and to lead. This is the whole essence of politics, that it is being led by people who are committed and who are dedicated to a cause, not to a party or to a system or to an individual at the top. this is where I think the politics of personality have to be reduced and the politics of service be introduced to the public and to the young people. Thank you.
One more.
Last question. Comment rather. Please reconsider going into politics. Be a strong NGO.
Be a strong NGO.
Or you mean don't contest?
Yeah.
Okay, I mean he or she has the right to his opinion, but can he or she actually change the nation with being NGO? Okay, this is somebody asked me just now. A reporter asked me why I decided to contest. Actually, this goes very well. Why I decided to contest. I have no ambition to be a politician. Never did. But I have seen for the last more than 10 years, I've been in activism in NGOs, that nothing has changed, nothing can change, and nothing will change with just being an NGO. We have, fortunately in Malaysia, we have very good NGOs, very good and very active NGOs, and they are constantly raising up issues. What is wrong with Malaysia? Okay, I can name a few: Suaram, Bersih, KMU. We have Sisters in Islam. We have Tenaga Nita. We have many good NGOs. But what is it until now? Nothing has changed. Well, I won't say nothing, but very little have changed, despite them making a lot of presentation to the government, meeting with ministers, involved in roundtable discussions and all that. Why? Because only Parliament can change the policies and the laws that actually being implemented in Malaysia. So this is why I keep saying, if you want change in Malaysia, you have to have good people in Parliament. Then only you will get good policies. You can get good laws being implemented in Parliament. Okay, so this is why people need to understand the importance of people in Parliament. If you think these career politicians will actually change for you, then I'm sorry, you will wait forever. Even your anak, your cucu also will eventually suffer from your decision, not actually walk the talk. This is what I'm doing. I am walking the talk. I have making noise. I have been making noise for a lot of things. I have seen what are the problems in Malaysia, but nothing can change if we don't have this separation of the agencies, the judiciary, independence of judiciary, the independence of the executive, the independence of the Parliament, and all of these people must answer to Parliament, not answer to the executive. This is the problem in Malaysia, my friends. Please understand, only Parliament can change that. Only Parliament can change the laws, and only Parliament can change the policies, and only Parliament can appoint good people to head any kind of ministries. So when you say, don't go into politics, don't go just being active in NGO, then that means you still cannot see the whole picture on how this country works. So this is why people need to understand Parliament is so important. It is like our heart. When the heart is not working, the body fails. So it's the same with our nation, with our country. Right now, our Parliament is not working. The Parliament is working for themselves. They are not working for us as rakyat. And this is why we need to aspire to get good people in Parliament, people that will change the chart of this country. So it is very important to understand why NGO, as good as NGOs that we have, they are not going to achieve anything if the ministers are not going to implement their suggestions, whatever they have come forward with to the ministry. Because they don't care. What they care is that, if I implement this policy or recommend this, I may not get the vote from a certain section of the society. They are worried about their next vote. These are career politicians, people. Somebody asked me, what if after you speak up so much in parliament and you do a lot of things and you lose the next election? So be it. Because I'm not a career politician. I don't want to be a politician, but I don't want to just shout on the ground. I want to make a change. I want to do something in parliament. That is why if I'm not re-elected, it doesn't bother me. At least I've done my best, But on the other hand, once you are doing the right thing in parliament, you may get re-elected again. But I do believe that there should be a time limit for members of parliament to be in parliament. They cannot be there forever. That is another thing that we must actually, but of course the parliamentarians, they don't want that because they want to have a cushy job, and then, get, they get pension, right? They get pension after even one term, they get pension. But there should be a limit terms, for members of parliament as well as especially our prime ministers. There shouldn't be, they cannot be a prime minister forever. They can actually stop for a while and then they can come back, but not like for 10 years or 20 years like that, That is why we are having this problem right now. We need to constantly change our leadership so that we have fresh people, fresh ideas. So whoever in the seat will then aspire to do the right thing rather than for their own benefit, enriching themselves and enriching their families and all that. So this is the thing I want to say about that. Before I forget, I also want to actually say that people maybe no question about fraud. How can we assure that the Gerak Independent members will not jump over and all that? Of course, I'm not God. I can't promise you all that. But we have actually chose these people based on very rigorous vetting, and they have to fill a long form. Okay, the form filled with very personal details. So we will know if suddenly they have enriched themselves or what. Okay, whether they are going to jump, I cannot promise you that. But I just hope that they will stay true to the principles that we stand for. That's all I can promise you. But another thing, another step for us to just at least help that we are going to get every candidate to sign a statutory declaration. And under the Statutory Declaration Act, they can be sued or they can be reported as a criminal offence. That if whatever they say in the Stat Act is a lie. Okay, so that is the other legal step that we hope to do. But of course, if we are in Parliament, we will ensure that the anti-hopping law, or at least the recall election law, will be enacted rather than just talk. Okay, so these are the things that we can actually say. We are not going to. I cannot say everybody. Yeah.
I just want to answer that last question. I spent 33 years as a public servant. We had to declare hazards, and anybody can go and find out from JPA what I declared and what I still have to say. Number two is, after 33 years, I began writing because I was not happy with what was not happening in the country. So I've written more than 600 columns over 17 years and ran an NGO for 17 years. Okay? At the end of it, what is it? We get a government that was elected by the people. My friend Choi Meng Hui is there. He and I went to Bentong all the way for the last election. 3 trips I made to Bentong just to campaign there against the last guy who dropped there. But didn't make a difference. And then we get a government that flips overnight after the people have exercised their choice. So if anybody is disappointed after 33 years of service and 17 years as an NGO, writing on governance and all these good things, enough is enough. When I decided I will run, I just told the children, I'm doing it for the sake of the grandchildren. And if we don't do it, I think it will be too late for the country. I genuinely believe it will be too late. So we are here, we're doing it because of our children and our grandchildren, and we are interested in that future. Thank you.
Okay, we are going heading towards the end of the program. I will allow all of them to actually say the final word. Okay, Ravi?
So we are at a point of change that took place in 2018, and we exercised our will, but our will was taken away from us. And I think in my case, I'm very, very angry about it. Right? So I want the will to go back to the hands of the people. You decide. You evaluate us. You evaluate us independently and decide whether we're up to par, whether we meet your expectations. You can go to our website or you can go to our app, and we don't hide anything. Everything about us is there. Our background, education background, our key policy positions is there. Full transparency. We're not hiding anything. The decision is always in the hands of people.
Thank you. Just wanted my grandson was with us a couple of weeks ago, staying with us. He's only 7 years old. I asked him, I was wearing this t-shirt, and I said, Mika, what is the word dependent mean? He was not sure. So I explained dependent to him. Then from the word dependent, you get independent. What does that mean? He was not sure. I explained to him. Then I said, there's another word that's linked to dependent. Okay, do you know that word? He paused and he didn't. So I said, it's called interdependent. All my life I was dependent on my parents. They educated me at age 21. At age 15, I went off to the Royal Military College. I learned independence. By age 18, I finished Form 6, I joined University of Malaya. I exercised independence. But as I move along and work in public service, I learned that there's another word called interdependent. When I work in MITI or Intan or MIMOS, I learned that we have to learn to be interdependent. Malaysia has lost the meaning of the word interdependent. And I like to summarize it with three words. We will never have unity without integrity. No unity without integrity. We have to recapture the meaning of integrity so we can be integrated. East and West, North and South. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I just want to say thank you very much for helping us spread the message that Malaysia is ripe for change. We need to change, and we need to have independent voices in Parliament. We need to get power back to the people, and I really mean that. So thank you very much for helping us to spread the message.
Yes, okay, to wrap it up, I will actually give it to Taufik. But just a reminder to all who are watching and to the media, please publish this. Then please download the Gerak Independent apps. There you can actually interact with the candidates, and we also have the facilities to actually eventually put in all of the candidates in the apps for the 222 constituencies, and you can interact with your candidates or your MPs in the particular app. So you can also interact with the Gerak Independent candidates, also donating to the Gerak Independent candidates. So thank you very much. I shall pass to Taufik.
Thank you very much, everyone, for attending this press conference and also for giving us the time to report on our progress in naming constituencies and the candidates. I don't have anything more to add to what the candidates have said, except to say that this is the beginning of a new type of politics that we would like to encourage people to participate in, that they will have to look at the candidate rather than the party. They will have to look at the overall policy of each individual candidate and where they stand on issues which matter to them and not on what party lines are being exposed to the public. And I think this is where conscience and good character and good choice comes into play. Thank you very much for coming and wish you all the best.
Thank you. Oh, one more. Yeah.
Sorry, because inside the press release you also announced Remy Majanti as
Yes. Yes.
Oh, yes, sorry. Remy is someone that needs to go through the vetting process before we confirm him. There are a few other people as well that are in the pipeline.
In the process, yeah.
They're in the process of being confirmed. And as the time goes on and the time is right, we will announce it to the press.
Yeah, so we can actually say that we hope that there will be a representative from ex-army as well as ex-police, so this hopefully that they will be brave enough to stand. Obviously they have a lot of concern, a lot of people have concerns and stuff like that, but we try to find the right of candidates. But most of all, I hope there will be more women coming forward, because so far I'm the only one. Of course, it doesn't matter, I don't really care about gender balance or whatever, as long as the right person. But you know, it'll be good to have more women. I'm sure there are a lot of brave women out there. So don't be afraid to actually to become a candidate. Don't feel that you cannot do it. You can. Every one of us can. So yeah, just come forward and we'll do something. Okay? Thank you very much. Yeah, thank you for coming, guys. Yeah, we are going to take a photo lah. With mask.
Mask is a mask.
Yes, correct. I thought we could switch you and
No, I think the Gerak Independent t-shirt one side, the one not wearing one side.
Okay.
No, seriously, okay? Yes, I think.
Let's just leave that right minute. Yeah, so just make a little space.
Yeah.
Jangan ambil pakai mask dulu lah. Kalau confirm.
Jangan wait. Arun, take for me. Benda ni kacau ke depan? Ha? You want me to move it?
Yeah. Mic sikit. Mic punya sat mic. Mic pun ni. Dia mic. Depan sikit kan? Datang depan sikit lah. Too far.
Satu langkah depan. Satu langkah depan. Jangan rapat ke dinding. Okey. Okey.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much.
Selfie mesti ada.
Send to me, ah.
Congratulations. Fantastic. Hopefully the first one will say I do not support medical school.
Thank you, thank you.
So we must change it. Huh? I was
Hey
thinking
guys,
you.
so sorry.
See, you need somebody to work.
Hey, so sorry. No drink even now. Oh, wow. You are. Oh, wow. Oh my God, I'm so honored. Yes. Oh, Remy. Oh no. Remy, I tried to call you now, just now. Yeah. Yes. Oh, thank you. Did you sign it? Please sign.
Okay, bye.
Alright. You give me one already. You give me no.
Many of the things we discussing in inside there. Oh, thank you. Okay, 90%.